Hi, so for today, maybe you've seen past video on my channel where I said I'm going to see Bring Me the Horizon in Germany, but that means that I'll be traveling overseas soon, and that means I need to use my passport. And I've never really had a passport protector ever before because I think it's kind of stupid. But today, I am going to try and make one out of some leather. So I've had this leather for a year now. This whole roll was over $100 just sitting there doing nothing. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's make something out of it. So I'm going to make a passport holder. So the goal for this passport holder will be two things. I want it to hold the passport, but I don't really want the usual design where each cover page goes into one side. I'm just gonna tuck the whole thing into one side of the cover, and the other side is kind of like a folder kind of thing for you to put your boarding passes, your tickets, travel cards or immigration cards. I'm gonna use it, put my vaccination cert and everything down there in the little folder at the side there. So it's gonna be a really simple one, but I'm not gonna use any templates. I'm gonna try and draw my own. So first, let's design it on paper. Okay, I'm just gonna start drawing here. Make a new page. Okay, so I gotta cut these three pieces out, and then we'll go from there.
So all I'm doing here is just cutting out the back piece, then I'm just measuring it to see if it will fit the passport, just making sure, and it does. So I'm just going to cut out the folder piece here, just looking to see what looks right.
Oh my god, that is a terrible cut. Oh my god, the ruler moved so much. You know what? Thank god it's not a structural piece, it will not matter. Okay. So, it's gonna be like this. Yeah, okay, you can see it coming together, right? Okay, so this will be stitched along here. You know, on a second thought, I figure I have this piece, it looks pretty good. Two of the edges are mostly square anyway, so I was thinking, why not we make like a second pouch here. Perhaps we can put cards, like credit cards or ID cards or something. Okay, wow, actually that's not a bad idea, right? But you know what? I think we should make this shorter. Yeah, something like that, a little offset. Wow, that would look great. That would look great. Okay, let's give it a mark. I just realized you can't see. Okay. So, something like this. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we need to cut the other side. So these are all the pieces cut out. I am gonna put a stitch line here so I can just slot the cut in. I don't know if I'll ever use this, but you know, why not, right? I already have the piece there. So cut slots in there, boarding pass goes there, passport goes there. So now I'm gonna do this stitch first, and then we'll see what I need to do next. Okay, so before I start stitching, I'm gonna need to make this end skinnier so that once the three layers stack up, it's not too thick. In fact, I'm just gonna make both these sides skinny, which is called skiving, where you're just gonna make a little bevel along the edge there, and this could make or break everything because I kind of suck at that. It's a really difficult skill to master. You gotta like really shave off a bit. I've ruined projects in the past just by this step, so I hope it goes well. So this is the inner part of the passport holder, right? So now I'm just gonna try and draw a curve, make it more ergonomic for you to pull out the passport. And I'm just gonna use this random shape. This is a fidget spinner. Future video coming. Those are still cool, right? You know, it doesn't have to be precise. That looks good enough. I'm just gonna use my awl here to carve out, kind of trace out the curve. That looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna manually carve this out by hand because I can't use any ruler here, and I can't use that beautiful rotary knife, this one. Okay, I'm just gonna come back to it once I've done cutting it. Okay, that's done. You can see it's a little bit rough, So I'm just going to use some sandpaper, sand this off, and while I'm at it, I'm just going to sand the rest of it, including the back piece here. So sand all the edges, and then I'll come back to it. Okay, so I've sanded the inner edges. The outer edges I will do once I sew everything together, then I'll sand it together so it's flush and flat. So for now, the inner edges have all been sanded. There is cow powder all over my table. So now we'll begin to do some burnishing. I got some tokonole, so let's start with that. It smells like vodka actually. Okay, so I'm gonna get some tissue for myself. Alright, so start with the tokonole. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see. Okay, so basically it makes the edge shiny and really smooth to the touch. That actually feels really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna proceed with the rest of the inner edges, and then we'll burnish the outer edges as a whole. Okay, so we're about ready to start the gluing process. Okay, so I've scratched out here. I've marked out the edges where I'm gonna put the glue, so it doesn't, so I don't go in too much. And then this is the contact adhesive I'm gonna use. Here's a life hack: if you cannot afford drugs, just sniff this stuff. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna glue it like this, which means I need to scratch this side here. I'm gonna do that. This is tacky. It's time to put them together. Okay, so I'm just left with these two pieces. I'm just gonna put the glue and then we'll stick it together. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stick these two pieces together. It's very intimidating to stick these together. That is not right. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Oh my god. Okay, wow, that actually looks kind of legit. So I'm just gonna put some more clips just like this one here, and then once it dries we'll cut back to stamping the holes. Okay, so we just need to score the lines where I'm gonna stitch. So if I have this tool here, I don't know what it's called, I think it's something like a compass, rusty as hell, but it gets the job done. Okay, so so basically now I just gotta punch the holes out here for the stitch. You know what? I'm gonna do this part in the morning because it is 5 a.m. and that is way too loud, unfortunately. Okay, the sun has risen. I can begin finally. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the rest and then we'll cut back to it. Okay, so I've punched out the holes here and the holes here. So what it's gonna be is now I'm gonna stitch this first. I'll stitch all of this, and then once this is done being stitched, I can glue that to there. You know what? I just had another idea. I had one of these like clamping systems, like, you know, so a button, right? So I could like put a strap somewhere here, stitch it behind here, so that I can clasp it shut. You know, it'll look something like this. Yeah, I can keep it shut, right? That looks pretty good. Okay, so I have the strip here. I'm gonna use this as the strap. So to use this, we need to put a hole in it first so the button can go through from the top. So I've got this punch here, but let me measure out first. Yeah, I think that looks good. It's good. Squeeze to mark it. Okay. So I used those rusty ass press punch, I mean. Give it a couple of good whacks. Alright, we got a hole. So the button goes in. Oh, wait, is it not centered? You know what? I don't care. Okay, this piece goes on top. Yep. And then we get this sharp pokey thing here. Stab it through the middle. Alright, the strap is done. I'm thinking perhaps I shove this in there. Yeah, that would work. So I just have to punch a hole. Is that centered? Oh. This goes on top. Use this tool. Give it a good whack. I believe we're done. First of all, that is not centered. You know what? It's okay. Yeah. Okay, I mean that looks pretty good, right? So I just have to stitch this at the back. Okay, so that is just one side. I'm gonna just do this off camera because it's just stitching. Nobody needs to see that. Okay, the stitching's done. Could it be nicer? Yes, it could. It could be straighter for sure. But you know what? I think it'll do the job just fine. So now what is left is to stick this onto here. So I'm just gonna glue that in, and then I'll stamp out all the holes. I'll stitch it in, and that is done. But here's a quick teaser as to how it's gonna work. Well, it's got a break in, but so it's a little tight right now. But you know what? It fits. So it's gonna fold out over like this, and then it's gonna have the strap here. It's gonna close like that. Yeah, I think it looked great. Okay, so there we go. It's not completely done, but the stitching's done on the main parts are done. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good. So what is left now is to burnish these edges, maybe sand it down a little bit. Yeah, it's a little rough here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sand it down, burnish it, and then I'll show you some close-up of it done. Okay, so I'm finally done. This is the done thing. I've just finished burnishing all the edges. I think it looks great. Yeah. So, time for a test fit. Wow, it's a bit tight because it's new. That's what she said. Alright, okay, so yeah, it'll loosen up, as I use it more and more. So that's one passport. So now for the card, does it slot in? Yes, it does. A bit tight as well again. Okay. So now I don't have any boarding passes with me, but I have a piece of cardboard. It's in the approximate shape of a boarding pass, and that goes just right into the slot there, as intended. Yeah. So that is the design. Clasp it shut. So now I got all my travel documents with me as I'm walking to the airport, and I can ensure that nothing's gonna fall out,
Like the passport's definitely not falling out of there. Boarding pass is, yeah, it could be tighter. As long as I hold on to it, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna come out. Yes, this is a Kellogg's box. It was. Anyway, I would like to say that this project was really good. Unlike all the other previous 3D modeling projects or like Arduino electronic projects, this one was a little bit more relaxing. I've been just watching Seinfeld, just sewing away, taking my sweet time. Yes, it did take very long, this whole thing. It is 1:30 p.m. I started this at probably 7 a.m. No, about 8 a.m. So yeah, it took about 6 hours, 5-6 hours. But I think it's worth it because it is it's unique to you, right? I mean, it looks like crap compared to something you buy at the shop, but it's unique and I like it. I'm proud of it. Well, if you enjoyed that, give me a like. Bye.